All right, everybody, last week of distance learning here.
Wait, stop. This doesn't make sense. Hold up. Wait, who are you? I am you. I am me. No, sir, you are you. Wait.
All right, so even if you are somebody who hasn't been around for a couple weeks, this finals week is going to be tailored for everybody to be successful. You're going to get into this folder. Again, my office hours available every day, 10 to 12. It says finals weeks. Basically, you will have access to all 8 summatives. Even if you've taken the summatives, there is an opportunity for you to improve upon them. So if you want to do one of the previous week summatives, you can redo it. I will take the higher score that you get. So that means if you got a 3.5 before, I think maybe you could just let it go. But if you got like a 1 or a 2 and you want to get a higher score, you can. Obviously, the week 8 social movement project, which is a little longer and a little bit more difficult, this gives you an extra several days to work on it if you didn't get it done on Sunday night yesterday. But now, first, I want to take a couple seconds before I get into kind of the background of what you can do for this assessment. So I just want to talk a little bit about the issues that we were looking at, and it's kind of fittingly that we work on this idea of social movements and the civil rights movement the last couple of weeks. And this is the posters that you guys made. Hopefully when we're back in the fall, you'll be able to come by the room and see this. I'll put it up on the door. A lot of people did a really good job. I think there were some really good examples of social movement posters, and a lot of you got a really good idea looking into kind of what's going on or what was going on in the world back in the 1970s. And you know, the events of the last week, and I mean the events of the last couple months, really just show you that, you know, we're not a perfect society. You know, a lot of times we like to think about the United States as being this great, perfect, wonderful place, and obviously with the events of the last couple days, we're not. You know, we're all individuals, we're all people that make choices, and some of them are not always the best. And I think if you look at the idea of police violence and racial tension and a lot of the things that have been going on over the last several years, it's not right. And, you know, I'm not one to really give a message of like, this is what you need to do or this is how it needs to be done. But I just want all of you to be safe, and I want all of you to live a good life and be happy. And I hope over the summer that you take some time to kind of really think about what you want in your future. If you look back to the 1970s, and we're talking about 50 years ago, it's a constant battle forward. You know, if you're talking about the environment, if you're talking about gender, race, if you're looking at your basic background as a human being, we're not going to ever live to see perfection. But we can keep fighting, you know? I mean, that's all we can really do. And so I hope as young people that you kind of think about that and really continue to use your ideas and thoughts to go forward and be successful in life. So back to what we're going to be doing for the week. As I said, all week summatives are available. As you notice, most of them were quizzes. So they're ones that you can just kind of access and take for a second time, or for the first time if you haven't done it. You all get 2 chances for these. But the one thing I want to show you is up here. It's this virtual classroom. This is where you can go if you did not do some of the formative work for that week. You can go back and look at some of the information. So when you click on this, it will bring you to this slideshow. And for every week, and you can notice up here in the top, there is a objective question. And this was basically what we were kind of focused on. And then each of these things you can click on. And if you notice in this first one for week 1, it kind of says what each thing is. And so the way I like to think about it is you can start with me, with my little Bitmoji, and this will give you the weekly lecture. So if you click on me, what comes up is a little website there and a YouTube link to what were often these presentations throughout the week. If after listening to me, you're overwhelmed by just the absolute boredom, you could go to the Fern over here and you can actually turn on a little meditation music just to calm yourself down. And then you want to work your way around in the classroom. And so I have a few things here. The book, will typically bring you to a text that you can read, kind of the basic either textbook or to a web page that kind of gives the overview of information. And then in order of significance for the unit, there's a little YouTube. Typically this will be a short clip about the topic. And then if you go onto the History Channel TV, this will be a longer clip. The next part over here is going to be a person. And this person is always going to bring you a link to a primary source document that gives background of a specific event focused on the question. And then the last bit is the little secret bench here where the best idea or ideas or link or sources for the actual summative come from. So if you get to me and you get the intro and it kind of reminds you, but you want the real key information, you should go and look at the side table. So what we have, if you look over on the left then, is every week. So you go in here, we have week 2, we got Harry Truman talking about the end of World War II, we get into the 1950s and we got Elvis. We get week 4, we got Eisenhower, the start of the Cold War. Week 5, we got McCarthyism, there's good old McCarthy. And then we get into 6, we got JFK with Vietnam, and then we got 7, that's good old Martin Luther King. And then week 8 at the bottom, we're looking at Nixon with social movements. So this is just kind of a cute way to kind of take your way through the units and to review things. And again, you can access and take all of them. So I've gotten a lot of messages from people over the last few days about how can I do or retake this or open this or whatever. All the summators are open. Don't worry about the formative work. A lot of that stuff isn't going to really impact your grade because most of it was just there for research purposes. And so all of that now is in here. All right. So that's it. Hopefully you guys have a great summer. The last point I want to make is just this all needs to be submitted by Wednesday at midnight. After Wednesday, I'm going to close off the grading period and your grade should be posted by the end of the week. So please, any questions you have, any information you need, try to get in touch with me Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday and to get these things done. And that seems to be where most of you are kind of doing your work anyway. So I think we're going to kind of stick with that. All right. Hope you all have a great summer. And for those of you that have worked hard throughout the last part of this distance learning, I appreciate your efforts. I've tried to work as hard as I can to make this easy and a thing that you can be successful so you don't have to retake this class again. And again, I hope you and your family are safe. Please try to be reflective and thoughtful about your actions over the next several months, and hopefully we'll see you in the fall, and just try to stay positive.